Hello and welcome back to this episode of Smart Guy Tech. Today we're going to be diving into the differences between Apple's 9th and 10th generation iPads. First up to the design. Starting with the design, the iPad 9th generation follows the classic look of iPad introduced in 2013 with the iPad Air 1. You can choose between either silver or space grey as your colour options. The iPad 9th generation also has a 10.2-inch Retina display. On the other hand, the iPad 10th generation has the same design as newer iPads like the 11-inch iPad Pro and the iPad Air 5th generation. You also get more colour options with silver, pink, blue and yellow. The iPad 10th generation has a 10.9-inch liquid Retina display. Overall, the iPad 10th generation wins in the design department. Next up to the performance. The iPad 9th generation is powered by the A13 Bionic chip, which is the same chip that's in the iPhone 11. It also comes with 3GB of RAM, which means it's good for everyday tasks and light multitasking. In contrast, the iPad 10 has an A14 Bionic chip, which means better performance and longevity. Plus, it has 4GB of RAM. This means that the iPad 10th generation also wins in the performance category. Now, let's look at the camera. The iPad 9th generation has an 8-megapixel rear camera. This means it's okay for taking photos of documents, but not much else. On the flip side, the iPad 10th generation has a much better 12-megapixel rear camera. This means that it can record up to 4K and 60 frames per second video. This means that it's perfectly good for taking most photos and videos, but if you want to film proper videos, I'd recommend using a phone. This results in the iPad 10th generation once again winning in the camera department. Now to connectivity. The iPad 9th generation supports up to 4G LTE connectivity. This is in comparison to the iPad 10th generation, which supports full 5G connectivity. The iPad 10th generation also wins in the connectivity department. Finally, to the price. The iPad 9th generation starts at just $549 for 64GB of storage. On the other hand, the iPad 10th generation starts at $749 for 64GB of storage. This means that the iPad 9th generation wins in the price department. Now let's find out which is worth it. The iPad 9th generation is good for most use cases, but if you want to just do that little bit more on your iPad, I would definitely recommend the iPad 10th generation. It really depends on what you use your device for. Thank you for watching this episode of Smart Guy Tech, and if you enjoyed this video, check out my video reviewing the iPad Air 2. Make sure to like and subscribe to this YouTube channel, and I'll catch you in the next one.